that this song is 20 years old? Right. Dope Nose is 20 years old. I always think these Weezer songs, because they're pretty prolific.
Yeah.
I always think that they're like newer than they are.
Well, because they had such a strange career early on where they Blue Album, huge, awesome album. Then Pinkerton's like a more underground album. And then they didn't do anything for like 8 years.
And then came roaring back.
Yeah, come back with the Green Album, and then they release an album every 2 weeks.
Yeah, Maladroit and all that. Yeah, 20 years. Well, anyway, given all that, they were going to do a Broadway residency, but nobody was buying tickets.
For Weezer?
Yeah.
Should have done it in Brooklyn.
Well, they were going to do a 5-night residency in Broadway. If only people from Brooklyn could get to Manhattan. Mm-hmm. They said that...
I don't think their audience has the disposable income for something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but Weezer fans are like my age now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know? They're not kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a handful of kids that, get into...
And I just remember when they came back with the Green Album and stuff, all the kids that were like my sister's age, 3 or 4 years younger than me, treated Weezer like they were the biggest thing in the world. And I was like, they're great, but you guys are acting like they are... the Beatles, and they're just good.
Well, and Rivers Cuomo, a smart dude, like he left to like finish Harvard or something, and he just comes back and starts making songs.
But he actually left to finish watching the movie Stealing Harvard with Tom Green and Jason Lee.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Took a while to get through it.
He was never too precious about the music, and he was very, very open about his love of like pop hooks, and that served them very well, But so I was kind of surprised. They said that due to low ticket sales, combination of low ticket sales and unbelievably high expenses to put the shows on. Now they
how much were tickets?
Well, here's the thing, though, too, is I think this was very this was a convoluted situation where they were going to be performing songs from their seasonal EP project. It's like, go do this and play the stuff. I don't know if they were going to mix it up
hits, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much they were, but Rivers Cuomo had he had confirmed this morning that they were going to cancel their residency because people just weren't buying tickets. So that's a bummer for them. Now, on to Mary gaining 60 pounds. I would have thought that by now I would have heard from more women in our audience, but wouldn't you know it, it's the guys who've got all the thoughts.
Amen, Brian. Speak the truth, brother.
No, but there's going to be some guys like, as long as her feet still fit in her size 6.5 or whatever.
Right.
Unless Mary and Brian plan on having a kid, any more than 30 pounds is unacceptable in a relationship.
That's a lot. I mean, 60 pounds is a lot, and I don't plan on doing that. But it was one of those like... And I think this is a woman thing to do, that would you still love me if? Because after that, I was like, what if I got a car accident and I lost a leg? He's like, we're not
then
married.
You lost weight.
Like, I don't have to love you if you are an amputee.
But also, then you've lost weight, so,
Right.
Then you can gain a little more weight.
Because, I can't walk, so.
Yeah. You can get a little fatter because you're like, hey, I'm at the same weight.
Right.
I just lost a 40-pound leg.
Alan, there ain't a chance in hell Mary would stay with her boyfriend if by some chance he was to get in a trash truck accident and was then confined to a wheelchair or a recliner and ended up gaining a bunch of weight. Ain't no way she would stay with him. I'm just saying. I mean, damn.
I mean, damn.
I mean, damn. What do you think the chances are, man? I agree with Mary's boyfriend. This is Jay in Strongsville, right? Another guy.
Yeah.
I'm not into big women at all. That's just very unattractive to me.
I mean, you're into what you're into, right?
Yes.
I've never been with big guys. I've never been into that.
I have never minded
like
curvy
fat
girls,
gingers.
boy.
No, that's
She
the thing.
loves
Is
fat
I do not like fat
Loves
gingers.
fat gingers.
But yeah, I mean, so I told him, I kept saying, I was laughing. He's like, what? I was like, I just didn't think you were this shallow. I said, if we had been together 8 years, we built a life.
But it's not shallow.
It is.
No.
And what about, so all the time you spend together doesn't matter.
If he
Everything
told you,
you've done, the life you have, the house, the raising of his daughter together, all of our experiences.
Why is that all on his shoulders?
Out the window because I'm
What
chubby?
about your portion of the responsibility of...
What if I get a thyroid disease and I can't help it?
That's a whole other thing. You didn't ask him, what if I get a thyroid disease? You said, what if I gain 60 pounds? Because I'm shoving Big Mac pizzas into my
He
face.
loves Big Mac pizza.
Alan, this is a female. I'm 5'3" and 200 pounds. I'm not thin, but 200 pounds isn't that big. See, I think 5'3", 200 pounds.
It also depends how you carry it, too.
Yeah.
I think that's big.
Big boobs and a big ass. Sign me up.
My younger sister and I could not be shaped more differently. And right now, she's at the weight that I was when I was my biggest before I quit drinking. And I was all belly. I was 156 pounds of pure stomach. Like, that's what I had. I had big boobs and thick legs, too, but I carried most of my weight in my stomach. Whereas she fills out in curves. So her boobs went up a couple sizes, her hips widened, and her ass got bigger, but her waist is still almost disproportionately smaller. So has that hourglass figure. So really, I think the pound doesn't really matter.
I consider it. My first wife she's 5 years, my ex-wife's 5 years older than I am. Gwen is 10 years younger than I am. Everyone I dated in between those two people were considerably younger than me. Mm-hmm. So I always have had it in my head that it's my responsibility to stay attractive to that other person.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm always like, my wife's 10 years younger than I am. I don't want to be like old fat dad.
Yeah.
I'm already gray. I got, my hair and my beard and all that crap. And she always poo-poos it. She's like, you're overthinking all this stuff. And I go, fine, but I don't want to. I see the people walking around. Mm-hmm. So in my brain, I go, that's my responsibility to stay effable to my spouse.
Right.
So my question to you is, do you consider it your responsibility?
Yes.
There you go.
I'm not going to gain 60 pounds.
This is all hypothetical.
Right. We're watching my 600-pound life.
But all of your arguments are hypothetical.
All of them. All of them.
And you have them so often.
And it's my fault because this is what I do. We're watching my 600-pound life, and I'm like, you still love me if I look like that? And he's like, why are you doing this? You know the answer. Why are you doing this?
Because not only this, but guys benefit from the fact that, and I believe this, some people might think it's nonsense, guys benefit from the fact that women put way less stock in the visual thing than we do, right?
100%.
Women
I appreciate it so much.
Exhibit
Bill
A.
has batted out of his league for 2 decades.
By his own admission.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, women will put up with a whole lot of blubber on their man if they're like, but he's great and it's this. Whereas guys are like, she put on a couple of,
Well, that was my whole point. That I was like, we've been together 8 years. We built a life. We've paid off the house. We've done vacations.
This is in the future.
Yeah, lifelong memories of love that we have put in together. And 60 pounds will take all of that away for you. And he was like, I don't know.
He's a man of principle.
And he was like, I cannot continue a relationship with someone that I don't want to have sex with.
Also, where's the self-love?
Maybe that is my form of self-love.
What?
Getting fat.
That's not love. No. That's completely divesting yourself of any kind of responsibility to stay healthy. Alan, my boyfriend, has put on 70 pounds. I've put on maybe 4. Somebody else says, as a former fat chick, I agree with Mary's boyfriend.
Now, but that couple where the girls only put on 4 and the guys put on 70, how does she feel about that? That's what I'm curious about.
And here's the thing. That's a lot of weight. 60 pounds, no matter how tall you are.
But what if it's all muscle?
I don't think I could put on 60 pounds.
Some muscle.
I would look disgusting.
Yeah, what if you put on 60 pounds but it's all muscle and you're just jacked? Just a little brick house.
Crush a watermelon with my thighs.
But I bet he wouldn't want a super muscular woman either.
No.
Fat or muscle.
He likes very feminine looking, thick in the right places, but toned type of women. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mary, Mary, why you bugging? Hi, my name is Mary Santora, and I expect my boyfriend to love me even if I'm a 200-pound crazy, not so funny for cat lady. Get a grip, Mary, because ain't nobody gonna love you if you get fat.
No, come on! Ain't nobody gonna love you if you're big.
So many different ways you can go with it. Listen, people definitely have their thoughts, but every relationship has their own mechanisms that make them work.
Yeah.
But there has to be, in your mind, a maximum weight that he could potentially gain, at which point you'd go, we need to have a talk. Maybe not walk like he said he would.
Yeah. Bye.
Unequivocally, right. Hey, listen, but everybody wants honesty, right?
Right.
Everybody wants honesty
Well,
until they get it. And then they're not such big fans of it anymore.
What's funny is that I do that to him all the time. He'll say something like, if we have like an off day on communication or something, and he'll be like, hey, I'm sorry I was being a dick earlier. And I'm like, yeah, you were. And he's like, I'm trying to apologize here, And I always tell him, I'm like, don't ask me a question if you don't want the real answer. And then that's exactly what he did to me yesterday when I was like, I can't believe you're being so shallow. And again, we're both playing it up. I mean, we're laughing throughout all of this.
I can't believe you're using my own logic against me.
Right, and that's exactly
How dare you?
what I did. He was like, you always tell me if I don't want the truth not to ask you for it.
That's right.
I just want to know how that conversation would go at the point, like, okay, you're not at 60 pounds yet, but you're getting there. He has to then come in like, listen, you have to either get slim or get gone. Like, I want to know.
I didn't even think about that.
Remember that conversation we had? That
4 years ago?
That hypothetical was actually becoming a reality. So I'm
God,
gonna
that
need
would
you
be
to.
so hard
That's
to
why
actually
you've got-
say that to someone's face.
That's why you have to plan ahead. That's why you have to date people who like curvy girls.
Well, that's
because
right, yeah.
even if you're not, you might become one.
and then you're in.
Johnny Sacks is what I keep thinking of from Sopranos, where it's like, it doesn't bother me.
Everybody makes fun of Ginny Sack
Yeah.
when he's not around. Right.
She's beautiful.
No, yeah,
That would be could you imagine? That would be such a hard conversation to have. But if you truly aren't attracted to your partner anymore, where you're like,
But you come
how
up-
do you tell someone your body repulses?
Well,
You lie. You make up something. I have broken up with people. Not even like necessarily broken up with people. Just stopped talking to people. The very immature way was I used to ghost people a lot.
You can't ghost someone you've lived with for 6
I understand
years.
that. So that's
Oh,
what I'm
yes,
saying.
you
Yes, you
can.
can.
Yes, you can.
It hasn't been
My
anybody-
next door neighbor in Pittsburgh did it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that deep. That's what I'm saying. I haven't done it to someone I was in a relationship with, but people that I've talked to, where I'm like, they're not as attractive as I thought they were. The sex wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Things like that. The immature way was to ghost them. Or if I don't ghost them, my second method is to lie. And I always whip it on myself. I'm like, listen, I'm dealing with mental health. Like I always say,
dealing with mental health.
dealing with
Just
mental
mental
health.
health is
In
something
general.
you're dealing with.
you come up with something, you make it good. Like you create an event in your life like, oh yeah, Cody, your brother is just going through it right now. I know. I just gotta.
So I have to break up with you.
I have to keep an eye on him. I'm having a lot of family problems right now.
But he's
Call it
already
quits.
been with me through my dad's death, like me having mental breakdowns and getting on medication. Like I couldn't make something like that
This is how
up.
important it is that you don't gain 60 pounds. It's also very instructive, I think, for two people in any relationship to be realistic in your expectations.
Yeah.
Right? Who cares? You do whatever you want to do.
Well, because then it turned into, I was like, okay, what happens when we're like old? When we're like 60 and I have a 60-year-old lady body? Sometimes I think it's on the list. Old people are fat in a different way. You know what I mean? You just get mushy as the years go on. And
All right,
it was
what
like, not all people have to get mushy.
What if you stay skinny, but your legs end up looking like Wendy Williams' legs?
What's wrong with her legs?
Oh, you weren't here yesterday.
No. Are they nasty?
Just take a look at them.
They look very strange. Something's going on.
It looks like she lost a bunch of weight and she's got like loose skin legs.
Oh, yeah.
You think he would
I don't know.
call it quits on that?
No, I don't know what he would. I don't know who he is anymore, honestly.
Poundcake, did you see that your boy Shawn Mendes joined Raya? We were talking about Raya just the other day. He's on the Raya now.
Yeah,
You got to get a recommendation so you can get on there and start creeping.
I do need a recommendation to get on. I would love to do that just to snoop. But again, Shawn Mendes, he need to go back on tour before he's talking about getting on a dating app.
Shawn Mendes, for people who are not in the know, is a pop singer, and he was dating a very famous pop singer, a girl named Camila Cabello. And they split up. And now she is going out with the CEO of a rival dating app,
That's something.
which has been called the Jewish Raya. I thought J-Date was that, but this is called Locks Club. Worst name ever for a dating app.
Dating app?
Hey, let's name my dating app after fish. That'll work. So anyway, Shawn Mendes probably, he canceled his tour because he said he wanted to prioritize his mental health. And so now, what better way to prioritize your mental health than to date celebrities? Oh, what could go wrong? Even if you are one. So anyway, look into that. He's on Raya.
Okay.
I don't know where he came from. He didn't come from a boy band or
He
something,
came from
right?
Vine.
I don't
Did
know.
he
what,
really?
Vine?
Vine was pre-TikTok.
No, I know. I remember Vine, but that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This guy looks
Yeah.
like he's 24 years old. He was a kid on Vine?
He was like 15, 16 when he got signed. Yeah. He had the same kind of path as Justin Bieber. I actually had a podcast about them on the Poundcake because it was holding Shawn Mendes back. But he's from the same town in Toronto. He's from Toronto, just like Justin Bieber. He got famous from viral videos, just like Justin Bieber, just on a different platform. And he has Rick Ross's manager, which is very odd. It just seems like an odd pairing to have Rick Ross's manager and be like a cookie cutter pop star. But I think he's way hotter than Justin Bieber, my personal take. He's taller. He looks like a model. He's models for Wilhelmina.
What?
Yeah, and so he has a really great voice and good songs, but he seems soft, and that's the one thing I don't like. Justin Bieber, he does.
soft.
Justin Bieber seemed like he got more thug appeal. Like
Why? Because he covered himself in bad tattoos
No,
and peed into a mop bucket?
it's not even about the tattoos.
It doesn't make you hard.
he's got more swagger. Shawn Mendes just seems like, again, if we were at a party, Shawn Mendes seems like the type of guy that would be sitting in a corner with his head in a book. I'm like, ugh.
Some girls like that. Some girls want a sullen little soft boy. Maybe that's what he's looking for.
A Jewish Raya. How would you feel about that, though?
Feel about what?
A Jewish Raya, like
What
if
about it? They
What-
want to date. That's like really important in the Jewish.
Yeah,
isn't it,
if you're
that
on
you-
J-Date, and there's a whole bunch of, again, dating apps they're so
White people only.
specific too. Oh, well, that's called whatever we were talking about, the right stuff.
Shut up! Is that a right-wing dating app?
Yeah. Kaylee McEnany's sister started it. Played that clip yesterday of her talking about it.
And there's only 2 genders. Can you believe that?
No pronouns necessary. But again, that's great. I mean, there's room for everybody.
Wouldn't
on
you
every.
rather have those people on an app like that? That way
Together,
you're
yeah.
not sifting through them on regular apps.
Well, when we talked about it yesterday, I thought that all the other apps had a filter for political affiliation.
you have to pay for it.
You have to pay to tell people if you're left or right?
You only get a certain amount of
Filters?
answers before you have to pay for premium categories.
I have a
or
feeling
whatever.
the political affiliation is going to be most people's 1 or 2 filter when it comes to dating
I'm
apps.
the only
In
one that
2022?
And this is the
doesn't care.
This is the one too that the interesting thing about that app is men have to pay for premium, women don't.
Right.
So
fine
I
with
think
that.
I'm sure
Chivalry's
you're
not
fine with
dead.
that, but I don't think those guys are, because those guys are always the ones that are like bitching about stuff like that.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Bitches
They
want
want women to be
equality and they don't
sub,
want to
yeah.
pay for it.
Well, yeah, you know what you're getting into if you're going to be on this app. But again,
Yeah, but they're the ones that always like, ladies, no, they want it both ways, is what I feel like. They
Free
always want.
before 11, what?
Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I've got to tell you about something I am so excited to announce. A dating app for all of us conservatives. It's called The Right Stuff, and it's launching this September. What I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free to use. And for my ladies, you'll never have to pay because we all get premium subscriptions for simply inviting a couple friends. Gentlemen, if you want access to premium, that's on you. And by the way, those are the only 2 options. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Stuff is all about getting into the right dating pool with people who share the same values and beliefs as you. You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary. We want you to put your best foot forward, which includes your favorite photos of yourself doing what you love or being with the people you love. Our prompts give you the opportunity to let people know.
well, you get the vibe there. I mean, they're,
So that Locks Club app, Bad Baby and Lil Yachty invest in the app.
Bahad Bahaby?
Bad Baby.
Tell Poundcake Bieber's from London, Ontario. All right.
So right down the road from Toronto.
Well, no, that's London's closer to Detroit than Toronto.
Okay.
Anyway, just something to think about. I just want to let you know, because we were talking about Raya, and I know that you've mentioned Shane Bieber. What's his name? Shane Bieber. That's a ball player, right?
Yes, yes, he's a
yeah.
pitcher
Is he
for the
related to Justin
Guardians.
Bieber?
No.
Is he also Canadian? Oh,
I don't
Is there more
think
than
so.
one guy named Bieber?
Apparently.
Alan, I'm 60 pounds heavier than when my wife and I started dating 10 years ago.
That's what I mean. It doesn't happen in 6 months. It happens over the course of your relationship.
I was wrestling in college at 184. Now I'm 240. She's been 110 to 115 the whole time. I'm 6'2" and carry it well with a dad gut, but it does worry me that she will find me unattractive, which adds to the ingrained mental weight cutting issues from wrestling. See, when I was wrestling, I never had to worry about cutting weight. So I don't have, well, I mean, in high school, I wrestled. The weight classes, I think, are different now. Current wrestlers have told me this. But when I first started wrestling in high school, I was in the 98-pound weight class.
My dad was in 107.
Yeah, 105, I think, back then. But I never broke 135 in high school. I think I got to 155 in college. But even then. But guys that were wrestling at like heavyweight, they're doing sprints in garbage bags and their laxatives. I never had to worry about that.
Our wrestling guys would wear garbage bags under their clothes and carry a Gatorade bottle on weigh-in days because they weren't allowed to swallow their own spit. Anytime they had spit in their mouth, they had to spit it out because they're like, it could be the difference between the weight class.
And then you carb gorge like after the weigh-in or whatever. Yeah, I never, So yeah, there are a lot of dudes who wrestle that have like those, they still have that in their brain when it comes to weight. I'm going to break here. I'll have those last pair of tickets for you to see Trivium. They're going to come through on the Dead Man and Dragons tour on October 22nd. They'll play the House of Blues downtown. So if you want